Hey gang, today we're going to do 3 licks in the style of Peter Frampton. Now Frampton was a rarity back in the day, a blues player who could play melodically. Not only did he play the standard pentatonics, but he also played modally. So we're going to check out some of that style coming up. Here's lick number 1. Alright gang, before we get into the licks themselves, let's do the chord progression very quickly. It's this: D, F, C, D, and then the turnaround A, C, and D. Alright, all these licks are over that chord progression. Real neat chord progression. The odd chord in it is F because it forces an F natural instead of the F sharp that is in D. And that contrast is, I think, what makes the solo and these licks really cool. Alright, let's do the licks now. Alright, here's lick 1. I'm using a crybaby wah pedal because I don't have a talk box. You can use any wah pedal that you want, or even better if you have a talk box. But if you have nothing, it's still a great lick, so you could do it without anything, okay? So let's just start here. 3rd string, 7th fret. We're going to walk up the D Mixolydian scale. Okay, we're going to start down here in a D Mixolydian scale. Just walk up. And then we're going to go on the 2nd string 10th fret and bend that up a whole step to match the B. Give it some nice vibrato. Then we're going to do 2 overbends. These are 1.5 step bends. Coming back to the note itself, 10th on the 2nd string. Again, lots of vibrato. At this point, I find it most convenient to shift up to here, and we're going to play D Mixolydian, which is the same as G major notes. So there's a little turn there. Okay, and then now notice this is over the F, so we're shifting to that F note and ending up on the 3rd string 9th fret, which is an E. That last line is really just, again, going up the D Mixolydian scale. When you hit this note right here, the B, on the 2nd string 12th fret, we're going to slide up to the 13th, and then hit the 13th, slide up to 15th, and then hit the 15th and slide up to 17th, and then hit the 17th and give it a nice bend to end it. That's the lick. All right, lick number 2 is a basic blues in D. So we're going to use the blues scale in D using some classic licks and some really interesting timing from Frampton. Okay, so here we go. Okay, pretty straightforward lick for sure, but there's a couple of things to look for. First, make sure you give it some nice vibrato on both of these bends. All right, little hammer on and pull off that's coming up. And then backtrack back up to the 1st string. Now here's the trickiest part. You got to play a little triplet here. That right there is a little bit tough. So you're bending it up on the 12th, 3rd string, pulling it back down, and then pulling off to the 10th. Very quickly. And then to get the timing right, you play the 12th twice after that. So it goes like this. Then we're just going to walk down the blues scale. Blues scale in D, that is. And that's lick 2. All right, let's go over lick 3. Whereas lick 2 basically followed a D blues scale, this one follows the chords really well. So let me show you what I mean. Here's the lick. Okay, so we're going to start out with a D chord. And what Frampton plays is basically a D7 arpeggio, so like this. Plays it 3 times. So what that is on 3rd string, hammer on from 10 to 11. And then we're just going to walk down on the 4th string, 12 to 10, and end up on the A, which is the 12th on the 5th string. So there you go. That's a D7 arpeggio. And it's a D7 because we're playing the 10th right there, which is a C natural, which is a flatted 7th of D. Okay. The tricky thing about that is the timing. You've got to play 3 of those in the space of that one measure of the D chord. All right, next up is the F chord. And so that major 3rd of D isn't going to work because D minor is a relative minor of F. And so instead of that, we're just going to flip back to the minor pentatonic. Okay, so that one is basically pretty straightforward. And the only thing that's a little bit weird is the shift in position, where we're going to play the 10 on the 2nd, 10 on the 1st, and then just shift up 2 frets and play 12, 12. Okay, and it sets us up for the next lick, which is this. So that's just a little flutter lick on the 1st string. We're playing 12 and 15. And you can either pick it, which I think I hear Frampton picking it, but it doesn't matter. You can hammer on if you want to, if you find that's easier than the picking. Either one's fine, okay? After that, we're going to play this. Okay, staying in D minor pentatonic, we're going to bend up on that 15 a couple of times. This is on the 1st string. And then we're going to play this F, okay, which is part of the D minor pentatonic a couple of times. Finally, when we come back to the D chord, and I'll show you what that is, right? We were playing F to C, and then finally back on the D. And that's where this is played. So we're going from this F to an F sharp. F sharp is in the scale, is in the D major chord, and F natural is in the D minor. And that's why it's so cool, just kind of playing around with that. But anyway, that's that last piece, is we're playing on the 1st string 14th and coming down to the 2nd string 15, 13, ending on the A, which is the 3rd string 14th. All right, gang. Well, I hope you enjoyed those 3 licks in the style of Peter Frampton. I love Peter Frampton's play and always enjoy teaching it and learning it. All right, so I hope you did too. We'll see you on down the road.